Time. It never seems to stop, does it? Speeding past us by the second, the former life becomes more and more distant. But we shan't forget about those who crawled so we could walk, who built the foundations that we reap the benefits of, those who made the game what it is now. Today, we're talking about the two 7-foot phenoms that keep that strap on them, Kevin Durant and Dirk Nowitzki, in the fourth installment of Through the Eras by Dash and Hoop. Buckets, buckets, and more buckets. That's what you're gonna get from these two offensive maestros. Whether it be fadeaways, catch and shoot threes, slithery moves to the rim, you're gonna get all those from these forwards. But while both of these all-time greats have already cemented their legacies as textbook scorers, their careers tend to be viewed much differently when compared to each other. And you know exactly what I mean by that. We're talking about that jewelry, baby. It's a pretty common theme to go ahead and discredit Kevin Durant's rings in the NBA community. Whether it be from fans, media, or other NBA players, everyone loves to bring up how KD left his contending squad for a 73-9 Warriors team. With this decision ending in back-to-back rings, many proclaim these chips to be not as valuable as, say, the German Beast ring that is Dirk Nowitzki's 2011 crowning accomplishment. This specific ring is always brought up as one of the most hard-fought and meaningful championships in NBA history. And considering all context, you could probably see where people are coming from. Beating the LaMarcus Aldridge-led Blazers in the first round, sweeping the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers in the second, gentlemen sweeping the young but deadly Oklahoma City team in the semis, then embarrassing the Heatles, led by the big three of LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. And there are some brownie points added in there for doing it with the team you were drafted on too. But what does this mean for the legacies as a whole? I mean, if the general consensus is that each ring has different value, then shouldn't Dirk be regarded as a better all-time player than KD in this ring-focused league? Well, that's not what I see on literally any all-time player rankings list. So let's go ahead and look at the similarities and differences in their games and accolades to find out what the true answer is behind all this. But real quick, before we get into that, make sure to German suplex the like button, chocolate smack that subscribe button, and activate those post notifications. Much love, Dash and Hoopers. Taking a look at the similarities in their games, it's hard not to love what you see in both of these guys. Super efficient, super fluent bigs who had godlike touch with their shots. With both of these dudes having 7 3+ wingspans, there was nothing on God's green earth you could do to affect their shots. And man, that's not even mentioning the release point these dudes had on their shots. Good God almighty, we can see Dirk getting damn near parallel to the ground on some of these fadeaways. Plus, don't get tangled up with his other leg out. That shit'll get you to pick up another foul, adding onto the 3 you already picked up trying to keep Dirk in front of you. But these fadeaways should still look familiar to you younger fans. As the Slim Reaper himself has said, he took this part of Dirk's game and added it to his own during his career. And not to discredit Dirk, but KD's version is damn near as unstoppable as the Germans, as he also uses his length and the non-dominant leg to create space for himself. Woo! Something else these dudes were both nice at was the 3-ball, as Dirk is often credited as being one of the first bigs to make shots behind the arc a go-to part of his game, as he shot 38% on about 3.5 attempts from his rookie year in '98 to his last super productive year in 2015. This man had countless times where bigs weren't used to having to guard so far away from the basket, leading to soul-crushing daggers for 3 points. And as stated, the Durantula isn't a chump when it comes to threes either, also shooting a mind-boggling 38%, but on 2 more attempts a game than Dirk. Some of his most iconic shots in his already rich career have been pull-up threes in the biggest moments of the sport's history. But in terms of accolades, these gentlemen also share quite a few of the same ones. For starters, each of these guys have themselves 1 regular season MVP, 13 All-Star appearances, both a part of the 50-40-90 club in the NBA Top 75 group, both having 12 All-NBA selections up to this point, and both have at least 1 Finals MVP. In other words, pretty f***ing good at the game of basketball. But I'm sure we already knew that. So what about the differences between these guys? To start, while these guys did match up quite a few times in their careers, in all honesty, they played in different eras, or at least peaked in different eras. While Dirk was busy taking criticism from the masses about someone as big as him playing out on the perimeter, KD was getting praise for being so damn tall and long and being able to work dudes out, in the open floor. This being acknowledged should also put into perspective why maybe Dirk's point per game averages aren't as high as Durant's. Because when we directly compare them here with no context, sure as hell looks like KD blows Dirk out the water in the scoring department. But that's simply not the case, because in the modern day three-point era, the spacing is absurdly different, making it much easier for KD to attack an open space or to pass it out to his shooters. Dirk, however, had to play in the era where it was uncommon for an offense to not have a big, strong, bulky power forward that was there to muck it up, and then an even bigger guy at the center position. Times have changed. This shows that Nowitzki was crafty and skilled enough to efficiently get himself to 22 points a game in a slower paced, tightly compacted league. The big difference between the two that everyone's been waiting to hear in this video is the manner in which each of these guys had gotten their NBA rings. Look, I know how people feel about the KD rings, as I'm surrounded by the two loud groups of either, those are the cupcake, coattail riding rings that shouldn't count, or the other group that says, a ring is a ring. Regardless of what you say, in 30 years, nobody will remember how he did it, just that he got 2 rings. And to be honest, I fall somewhere in the middle. While I do recognize that we can't just entirely discredit a whole 2 rings a player has earned, I do think that they should be worth slightly less when we reflect back on the all-time greats. For example, are you gonna tell me that Hakeem Olajuwon's 2 rings are worth the same as KD's? You're crazy if you do. And I feel the same way about Dirk's single ring. Dirk didn't get a solo dub versus squads, making it the most magical carry job of all time, but I do think it's worth mentioning he didn't have any all-stars next to him while sticking with the same team he was drafted to. So Dirk's ring does mean a little more than, say, I don't know, Jack Sikma's supersonic ring in the 70s. I don't know if that was a good example. How about worth more than the 2017 ring? I don't know, you get the point though. So Dash and Hoopers, what do you think about the comparison? Is Kevin Durant just a very skilled basketball player who needs a proven winner to get himself over the hump? If you value playoff success and the road it takes to get there, would that make Dirk Nowitzki a better all-time player than Kevin Durant? You let me know down in the comments below, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, y'all have a phenomenal rest of your day.